I announce I am a candidate for the Republican nomination for President of the United States.
This week, George Pataki became the 8th official GOP contender for 2016. His announcement came in New Hampshire, a friendly state for moderate Republicans. Governor Pataki joins me now from New York. Governor, thanks very much for joining us on Sunday.
Good being on with you, Jim.
I want to start, if I can, with the news of the day, because key provisions of the Patriot Act are due to expire today. We just had Senators Mike Lee and Angus King on, who said it's possible, though they believe they have the votes, that these powers will be suspended, perhaps for a period of days, 2-3 days. You were governor of New York during the 9/11 attacks. Does that put the U.S. at risk of terror attack?
It certainly does, and it's just, to me, totally wrong that a filibuster would be used to create this void in our security at a time when we are at risk. And I honestly think, Jim, we're at greater risk today as we've been at any time since September 11th of another terrorist attack. So I hope they can get it done today. By the way, I think they should reauthorize the Patriot Act. I think Senator King's comments about how the alternative the House passed doesn't require the private sector to hold those phone records. And without them, we are at greater risk than we are today.
Senator Rand Paul, one of your opponents, you mentioned a filibuster there, putting the country at risk. He's the man behind it, leading the way on this. Do you believe that he's fit to be commander-in-chief in light of that position?
Well, I think he's wrong on this position where he's going to by himself block reauthorization or the creation of new authority to protect us and provide our intelligence we need to protect us in these dangerous times. So I think he's wrong. I don't understand why, if it's going to happen on Wednesday or Thursday, he doesn't allow it to happen today. It is simply putting Americans at risk for a political reason. I think it's wrong, and I think it's unfortunate.
I want to move to the fight against ISIS. The fight against ISIS is not going well. The map virtually unchanged in a number of months. You've had the key loss of Ramadi, other areas just in the last couple of weeks. You have said repeatedly that American forces need to be put on the ground there to fight there so that you don't have to fight a group like this at home. I wonder if you could describe to our viewers, how far would you go? How many troops? Are you talking about a large ground force? Are you talking about military advisors? What exactly do you think is necessary to turn the tide?
Jim, what I said is, if necessary, we should not rule out using American forces to take out their recruiting centers, their training centers, their planning hubs, where they are actively working to attack us here. I would do a number of things first. First, I would provide actual arms and assistance and training to groups like the Kurdish Peshmerga and the Sunni Anbar Sheiks who are on our side. Right now, we don't do that. All of our aid goes through Baghdad, and most of it doesn't get to those fighting ISIS on the ground. I would also put American troops as advisors and as observers on the front line, working with the Kurds, working with the Baghdadis and with the Sunni to help them overcome ISIS's ability. I would greatly expand the air attacks on those safe havens, on those centers, using whatever intelligence we could get, which is obviously critical. But if all else fails, then to prevent them from having these centers where they're organizing to attack us here in America, I would use American forces. It wouldn't be $1 trillion, hundreds of thousands of troops, a 10-year war to nation build. It would be a quick strike, destroy their operations, and then move out and continue to support those other forces, those local forces, fighting ISIS on the ground.
But let me ask you this. The U.S. has been training, advising, assisting, and arming the Iraqi army for more than 10 years, $25 billion. That army has dissolved, in effect, with ISIS advance on Mosul and in Ramadi. What gives you confidence that if you do more of that, it's going to turn the tide without a significant U.S. presence on the ground?
You know, I think what we have to do is not just help the Iraqi army, but as I was saying, put advisors and greater troops and support with the Kurds, put advisors and support and weaponry with the Sunni who are on our side, and yes, have advisors with the Iraqi army, the Baghdadi army, with them, so that instead of having Iranians guiding them, they will have Americans guiding them, and they will have the confidence that we are at their side. Jim, let me make one point. I have two sons. My older son after college was a Marine lieutenant in Iraq for a year. My younger son after college became a lieutenant in the 10th Mountain Division and just got back from Afghanistan in September. I know what it's like to lie awake as a parent worrying about your child. I do not want us to put one young person in harm's way unless it's absolutely necessary. But I saw September 11th. I know ISIS wants to do it again anywhere here in America. We cannot let that happen.
I want to turn back to the political race here. I want to play you something that the new Democratic presidential candidate Martin O'Malley said this week. Have a quick listen.
The presidency is not a crown to be passed back and forth by you between two royal families.
He's, of course, referring to the Bushes and the Clintons. I wonder if you agree with his assessment.
Well, sure. Obviously, you don't pass it on to a family. You have to go earn it. And I'm a fan of Jeb Bush. I know if he decides to run, he's not going to run because it's a legacy thing, but because he has a record of his own and he's fighting to get there. But I have to tell you, my background is so different. Growing up on a small town in upstate New York, and my father couldn't speak English when he went to the first grade, and I had to work in a factory over Christmas and summer vacations, and I think that's the American way. And one of the things that excites me about this race is that in pretty much everything I've done, I've started at the bottom and been able to finish at the top. I know I'm starting close, if not at the bottom now, but you fight the fight. You have a vision that Americans can believe in. You work harder than others. You talk about a record, which I'm very proud of. And at the end, that's what matters, where you are at the end.
Let me ask you this, because the first Republican debate is going to be August 6th, and Fox News, the debate sponsor, has said only the top 10 candidates, based on opinion polls, will be able to participate. Do you think that's a fair rule?
Jim, the rules are what the rules are. Whether it's fair or not, you abide by the rules, and I'm not going to let it bother me one way or the other. It's August of 2015. Whether I'm in the debate, not in the debate, I'm just going to continue to make the case to the American people that my whole life has prepared me for this moment. I know I can lead this country. I know I have the vision. I know I have the background and experience. And if I'm in the debate, great. If I'm not in the debate, great. It's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Well, Governor Pataki, we wish you the best. Thanks very much for joining us on this Sunday.
Thank you, Jim. Good being on with you.